Now, the family of Shiraaz Mohamed has accused Gift of the Givers of endangering their son's life by issuing statements about his escape from his kidnappers. He escaped to Turkey from his captors in Syria. His mother, Shiraaz Mohamed, says the family had trusted the organization for 2.5 years to get him returned home, but had given up when there was no progress. Gift of the Givers then withdrew from negotiating with Mohamed's captors. On Mohamed's escape, Shireen says that Imtiaz Sooliman was endangering her son's life by releasing the news prematurely. We have Imtiaz Sooliman on the phone from Johannesburg to respond to this particular allegation. Imtiaz, good to speak with you. Let's just get straight to it. The comments coming through from the mother of Shiraaz are that you were endangering her son by making those pronouncements way too early. What is your comment?
It's totally fallacious. It's completely incorrect, Tony. I informed the family, that I made a press release only the next day. Shiraaz, his release was, or his escape was informed, related to us on Saturday afternoon. And on Saturday evening, I had people on the ground who were witnesses that Shiraaz was safely taken across the border into Turkey. I even sent the family a message to say that once we announce that Shiraaz is in Turkish intelligence hands, he is safe. That is his best security. If everybody knows that he is in the hands of Turkish intelligence, nobody will dare interfere with him. He is fine, he is safe, and that was on Saturday night. Actually, some of the family members even admitted, publicly that they spoke to Shiraaz on Saturday night and that he was safe. So I don't know what issue comes about not being safe and secure. And on Sunday morning, only once we were completely, allowed time to pass, the press release was made not so much about Shiraaz escaping, but that was already communicated to the family and to Durgo. But there's another big factor that there's a big play that goes on inside Syria. Remember, I have a hospital there that got 6 different divisions and have 230 staff. Now, if there's any suspicion that we were involved or my teams were involved in getting Shiraaz out of there or planning something, it puts my hospital and my hospital managers at risk. The hospital manager has been threatened many times by the leader of the group that took Shiraaz and by other groups. And we expected somebody to call him again on Sunday morning to say, what do you know about this? And as they predicted, they called him to take all the attention away from the hospital. We had to make it clear that they had nothing to do with this, that this was a call directly to South Africa, called to our people, and we had full knowledge of this.
If I may interrupt you there, Imtiaz, you were trying to assist the release of Shiraaz at some point for about 2.5 years. Wouldn't your hospitals and the hospital managers been placed in danger anyway during that particular period? So what's the difference? They weren't in danger in that period of time, but if they suspected that we were involved in the release of him escaping, that would have been a big problem. So all the time in the 2.5 years, we told the hospital manager to stay out of it, because he's in an area controlled by one group, and the group that took Shiraaz is in another group. So he was afraid when he spoke to us, when he heard from us that Shiraaz was released. He was afraid that that his life is in danger. Okay.
And the other staff.
Shireen, his mother, is saying that they had received the news of his escape before you yourself had received that particular news. But I think the point she's making is that she did not go on into the press to tell the press or issue a press release. Why did you feel that you had to do that before the family did?
No, well, that also I don't believe that is true, because when I informed them on Saturday night, the reaction from them was totally ecstatic. It wasn't as if somebody knew about Shiraaz being released. The messages came was thank you, praise God Almighty, and a whole range of words that came from the family. It wasn't from Shireen directly. It was from the rest of the group. In the 2.5 years that we were involved with them, we had created a chat group for the family. And the chat group wanted Shireen not to be on the group because they said that it is a children. They said the mother gets very emotional. So our means of communication was a family chat group, which Shireen was not on that group. And when we sent that message, the sister and the brother and others sent that messages of absolute thankfulness. They wanted to know what's the next step. Where is Shiraaz? What happens next?
Imtiaz, just on that, you're speaking about the family being ecstatic, but again, his mother it says that Dr. Sooliman spoke about how happy the family was. However, he has no direct contact with me apart from WhatsApp messages. So what do you say to that?
That's something that's not true. I did not speak to her directly. I put the message on her group, and her daughter and her son responded. The messages I would be for all to see. They thanked us and they said, thank you very much for the information, and you know what happens next. It was an ecstatic response from her son and her daughter. Her daughters that live in the house with us.
Okay.
That's the way we've always communicated.
Have you spoken with Shiraaz?
No, I don't know Shiraaz. I've never met Shiraaz in my life. I have no idea who Shiraaz is. That's another mistake. People think that we took him to Syria. We didn't take him to Syria. I actually don't know Shiraaz Mohamed. I've never met him, never spoken to him. The only time that I knew that who Shiraaz is, was when he was in Syria and he got taken outside the hospital. And I wondered how he got there. And then we were told that one of the guys who was to be a volunteer with us had made arrangements for him to get into Syria. Now, this volunteer had arranged for many, many groups and many individuals to get inside Syria. So when we asked, when did this happen? They said it was like a few days ago. I said, but why did he come? They said, no, he wanted to come, he wanted to film and take pictures of the suffering in Syria, of people in Syria. I said, but don't you know that's too dangerous? You can't send journalists alone into a war zone. So I really don't know Shiraaz. I've never spoken to him. I have no contact with him. And he doesn't even have my number. So okay. It's only with the family. But there's another thing I need to clear. The family said that, for 2.5 years we made them promises and we didn't keep to our promises. A hostage situation is not something, you can definitely to say, I'm negotiating now and in 5 weeks' time the guy will be out. It doesn't work that way. It takes time, you make an effort, and we kept them in communication all the time. That's why we created a WhatsApp group. Teams of my groups also went to the home. I went to the home once only, but most of the time they came to my office. So we did what was practically possible. Okay. We withdrew because we brought in another negotiator.
All right.
If you have two negotiators negotiating, it complicates the case.
Imtiaz, just one last one and quickly for me. Is there animosity now between you and the family?
No, I think we've never had a problem. We've pulled out of the case, but we never had a problem. We've always sent messages to them. I don't know where this came from, and I wish them well because we know what trauma and how distraught the family gets in this kind of situations. I have absolutely no animosity. I wish them well, and I hope Shiraaz comes home soon. And that was confirmed in negotiations with the Turkish government, so I don't think it should be a long time before Shiraaz comes back home.
All right, fantastic. So thank you for speaking with us, Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, the founder of the Gift of the Givers, which was accused by the family of Shiraaz Mohamed of endangering his life after issuing statements about his escape from his kidnappers in Syria. He escaped from there to Turkey. Let's move on now.